All right, thanks for tuning in and watching our video on rational word problems. Excellent. So we got number 1, 2, and 3 up here to help you if you were absent. So basically, you want to put the person's miles, like how far they travel, distance on top. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and say that distance d is equal to rate times time, right? So that's, again, let's write that out. So how do you figure out a distance? Well, a distance is the rate that you're traveling, miles per hour, and then times how long it takes you to get there, right? So if you're going 50 miles per hour and it takes you an hour, you get the 50 miles distance. Cool. So then when we're looking at these problems individually, we're actually setting up and using rates is what we're doing. And so we're basically doing distance. So if we're trying to find time or distance, so like for example, this is Chuck, and he's doing 104 miles. So that's his distance right here, distance. And so distance over, let's see here, at what speed does Chuck travel? Okay, so we're doing distance, and then down below we have our rate, it looks like. So he's going, so if Chuck's rate is 4 miles per hour more than Dana's, so you have to kind of, this is the jump, is you have to say that Dana's, we don't know what it is, but you have to say, wow, come on. You have to say that Dana's is X, right? Whatever, just some, we don't know what it is, just some distance X, okay? So some distance X. And we don't know what it is, but we do know that Chuck's is 4 more than that distance, right? So X and then 4 more. And so that's in our word problem. If Chuck's rate of travel is 4 more than Dana's, so that's X plus 4. So we'll say Dana's is X, and then Chuck's is X plus 4. Cool. And so Chuck's distance was 104, and then so his rate, right? So if you're kind of say we're solving for time, you would divide rate to the other side so that time is equal to distance over rate. Cool. Or vice versa. And so basically, yeah. So there's our setup. Chuck is 104 over Dana's plus 4, and then Dana's is 96 over X. Cool. So then what you do is we cross multiplied is what we did there. And we end up, when we cross multiplied, we got 1 over 4 times X is equal to 96 times X plus 4. And then we went ahead and we distributed the 96 through like that. And so we ended up getting, just kind of showing you what we did on number 1. I know it's not showing up there right now. So we ended up getting, let's see here. So we ended up getting 104x, because 104 times x equal to, let me multiply this guy to the other side. This is called cross multiplying. So then we do 96 times x plus 4. And then we distribute through that x. So then we get 104x is equal to 96x. And then 96 times 4, let's just go and do that real quick. So 96 times 4 is 384. And then we wanted to solve for x. So then we minus 96x to the other side, minus it to the other side to combine our x's. So we get 8x. So then we have 8x is equal to 384. We divide by 8, divide by 8. And so we actually get x is equal to 48 when you divide by 8. Now it's not asking for Dana's, no, it's asking for Chuck's. So you're going to take that 48 and you're going to add that 4. Remember, we're going to take that 48 and we're going to add that 4, and so that gives us the 52. So that's our answer for number 1. So here's our work for number 2. So pause me, take a moment, review it. We cross multiply, distributed through, solve for x. And so we did have to set that up a little bit different than we thought initially. So it turns out 94 miles downstream is going fast. So how much faster? 6 miles faster. So we're going to divide 94 divided by x plus 6, right? So let me erase this to show you. Setting up this word problem basically. And so we're taking our 96 miles per downstream miles, 96 miles downstream, and dividing it by, so downstream means we're going faster. How much faster? Well, how much faster it is, we don't know, but we do know it's whatever it is plus 6 miles per hour because that's the speed of the stream. And then we're going to set that equal to 47 miles upstream, how far they went upstream. And we know that going upstream is slower. How much slower? So it's again that 6 again. So it's that 6 miles per hour. So x minus 6. Cool. So that's what we were supposed to do there. And then you go ahead and cross multiply. Let's fix our mistakes there. And so this becomes a minus. This becomes a plus. So then this becomes a minus, which is good. Let's fix our work here for you from our class there, second period. So this becomes a plus, and I believe that's 282. Let's double check. So 47 times 6. Yep, 282, good. So then this becomes a minus 564, good. So now we're going to go ahead and add 564 to the other side. Beautiful. And so then when we do that, and then we're going to minus 47x to this side. Just solving for number 2 with you right now. So then 94 minus 47 is 47. Interesting. 47x. Cool. And so then we set that equal to, and then we have 4 and 2 is 6. 8 and 6, just adding these up right now, is 14. Carry the 1. 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 846. And then we're going to divide the 47 to the other side. Divide the 47 to the other side. And so that's going to give us x, which is the speed of the boat in still water, right? What's the actual speed of the boat? Cool. So 846 divided by 7 is, there we go, 18. So there's going to be 18 miles per hour is what we get there for x. Cool. So hopefully that sinks in and makes a bit more sense for you there. 18 miles per hour. Definitely work on my 8s. That was an atrocious 8. There we go. So 18 miles per hour. Cool. Okay, so think about that when you're doing 3 next, right? X plus 29, x minus 29 in still air. Good. So now we'll take a look at number 5. The sum of some number, the sum, so that means addition. The sum of a number, so we'll just call that number x. So the sum of that number, x plus something, and its reciprocal. So the sum of the number plus that is equal to negative 2. And then find the number. And so to find that number, we would go ahead and multiply the whole thing, because we want to get rid of that x in the denominator, right? How do we get rid of the x in the denominator? So then we just multiply, right? Multiply by x over 1 all the way across both sides. Bam, bam, bam. So we end up with x times x is x squared. X times 1 over x will actually just become a 1. So plus 1 equals, and then that's negative 2x. Negative 2x. We'll get everything on the same side, So then we're going to add that 2x right here. We're going to add that 2x to the other side. When you do that, just put it down. And then plus 1. So we got everything on the same side. And then we factor that sucker. Ooh, so that's going to be x plus 1 and x plus 1. Good. And when you set both of those equal to 0, you get negative 1. X equals negative 1. Cool. So that's going to be C. Hopefully that's making more sense. Think about it. Distribute that x all the way through after you set it up. And then factor it. And then x equals negative 1. Because again, you set it equal to 0, and then you minus 1 to both sides, minus 1 to both sides. Cool. Okay, Jamie's taking a test that has 57 questions. So far, she's answered 48 of them correctly. So far, 48 out of 57 questions so far. How many more questions, so plus, how many more questions does Jamie need in order to get 90% score? So right now, she has 48 divided by 57. So not quite. She's got 84%. How many more does she need to get right? So we can just set that equal to 0.90, or if you wanted to set it up as a fraction, you can. So 90 over 100 is still 90%. And now we're just solving for x. So then that 0.90 or 90%, we're going to solve for x. And so how we do that is just simply timesing 57 over to the other side so that we know what 90% of 57 is. 57 questions is. Here we go. So we do 90 divided by 100, or you can use 0.90 times 57. Nice. So getting 51.3 is the score she needs. And so then we're going to go ahead and minus, so 50, what was it again? So 51.3, so we have 48 plus x is equal to 51.3. And so that's the score she needs, 51.3, in order to get a 90% on the test. So now we just simply minus 48 to the other side and solve for x. And solve for x. So now we do 51.3 minus 48 gives us 3.3. So she needs 3 and a bit. So 3 and a bit more. So probably you can't do a third of a question correct, so I'd probably round that up, right? You have to be smart now on some of these problems. So I'd round that up to 4. 4 questions correct is what she needs to ensure she gets that 90%, because you can't really get a third of a question correctly. So I'd round that up to 4. Double check our answers there just to see. That's for question 6. So question 6. Yep, 4 questions. Cool. Okay, awesome. There we go. Okay, so just helping you with these word problems. Awesome. Okay, so we'll just set that up and let you solve. So a cell phone company charges $19 per month plus what? 6 cents for every call. Based on phone usage, the average cost per call was 20 cents per call. How many calls did the customer make that month for just 1 month? So that's 19 plus 6 cents for every call. We'll call it X. So if a phone call was just 1 call, it'd just be 6 cents. And then if it was 2 calls, 12 cents, so you just plug in for X. And then when you take the average, you add them all up, add up all your prices there, and divide by how many phone calls they made that month. Cool. And we set that equal to 20 cents per call, because that's the average. Add them all up, divide by X, and then set it equal to 20, because that's the average they tell us. So now just solve for X. So there's to help you on number 7. Number 8, we have a $150 per year membership. In addition, yoga classes cost $5 per 1 hour session for members. Cool. So $150 for your membership plus $5 per 1 hour session. Call it X. Non-members pay $10 per yoga class. How many yoga classes would a member have to attend before you need or don't need that membership, right? To attend before the average cost per class is less than the cost for non-members. Ooh, that's a really good question. Cool. Okay, so just think about that. So $150 plus $5 per 1 hour session for members. So basically, we want to see how many yoga classes would a member have to attend before that average is less than the cost for non-members. So you got non-members basically paying $10, right, per yoga class. Nice. And so $10 per class. Awesome. And then, let's see here. So we're trying to find the average cost. It would be less than for non-members. Interesting. So $10 per class. So let's say you do like 10 classes, that's 100. No, the 150 is still too much. So let's maybe, what if you did 10 classes? What if X is like 20 sessions? Ooh, that'd be $200. Nice. Right? Because it's $10 per hour session for non-members. And so if you paid that 150 membership fee and then did 20 sessions, that'd be like 20 times 5 is 100. That'd be $250. Interesting. So that'd still be cheaper. Interesting. Still be cheaper. So you got to do more than 20 sessions to use that membership fee and get a, get a discount, get a good deal. Awesome. So we'll go in and let's see. So I think we want to do 150. a setup. Instead of trying to plug it in like I'm doing over and over again, we just want to set up an equation to help us, right? So 150 plus 5x, and then we'll go ahead and divide that by x. And then we want that to be equal to, I don't think it's equal to, don't we want it to be greater than? Oh well. So we want the average cost per class to be less than. So how many yoga classes would members have to attend before the average cost per class is less than the cost for non-members? So when do you get a good deal? So we want to see when this x is equal to or probably less than or equal to. So $10 per yoga class divided by x. I'm thinking, let's double check, and some of these are pretty tricky. So thanks for watching this video and trying to learn it with me. So that was for this one there. They just said equal to 10x, 30 classes. So let's take a look and see if that's right. Let me see here. Just said equal to 10, huh? Oh, because the x's will just cancel. Bah, what? Yeah, so if you just basically times by x on both sides, the x's will just cancel. I see why they did that now. So then it'll just be 150 plus 5x less than or equal to 10x. And then we go ahead and 150 plus 5x less than or equal to 10x. So then we'll go and minus 5x to the other side. So then we get 5x greater than or equal to 150. Divide by 5, divide by 5. So then we get x needs to be, so x needs to be greater than, probably greater than 30, like 31. But we'll go ahead and say greater than or equal to. But really, I think it should be 30, huh? $300. Yeah, because you want it to be less than. So I'd actually say just greater than 30. So x, you should have greater than 30, so 31 and onward, I'd say. So I'd probably say 31 is really our answer, really. So it needs to be greater than 30. So we're going to fix that on our answer key, because really it should be greater than 30, right? Yeah, so not x equal to 30, but really greater than 30. So like x equals 31 really is our answer, classes. Cool. There we go. Okay, so we're going to jump, almost done there. We'll flip to the back side, longer video here, but just for this, word problems can be tough. So it's definitely good to look at it. Okay, so then we did this one in class, number 9. And so maybe 10 people voted on in second period. So let's take a look here. So we have this beautiful equation. S of x is the minimum number of hours studying required to attain a test score of x. And so, wow, you gotta study this many hours tonight, you guys, for your test. Okay, because that's next time. So we have 0.32x all over 100.5 minus x. So how many hours of study are needed to score, to get a score of 85? Okay, so then S of x is the minimum number of hours of studying required to attain a test score of x. And so how many hours of study? Well, S of x is the number of hours of studying required to attain a test score of x. So x is your test score. So how many hours do you need to attain x? So I'm pretty sure that if you, let's see here, if you set it, is it equal to 85 or plug in 8? Let me do the B first. What score can you get if you study 8 hours? So if you study 8 hours, what kind of test score should you get to attain test score of x? So let's try that. I think that'd be fun to plug that in. So we're going to go 0.32. This is my first time trying this problem, so we're just kind of playing it by ear there. So 0.32 times 8 divided by parenthesis 100.5. Wherever I see an x, I'm plugging in 8 hours. And so just to see what that gives us, just playing around with a little bit. Yeah, that's not helping us. So I think I'm reversing it in my head. So I'm thinking that for A and C, you're plugging in that. And then for B, you're setting it equal to 8, I think is what's going on there. Okay, let's see here. So we're going to take 85 and plug it in. So S of 85 is equal to 0.32 times test score of 85 for x, all divided by 100.5 minus that 85. Cool. So now watch this. If you go back to your calculator, you can type all that in again, or you can push second enter and bring up the last thing you did. And so everywhere we see an x, we're plugging in not an 8, but an 85. There we go. And then here's another 8, the 0.32. I'm actually going to second insert. There we go. So 0.32 times parenthesis 85 divided by 100.5 minus 85. So that's going to give us what the 1.75. This is not making sense. Let's double check this. Okay, so in the following formula, S of x is the minimum number of hours of studying required to attain a test score of x. And so we plugged in 85. How many hours of study are needed to score an 85? And so it looks like if we did this right, it's 1.75 hours. So an hour and 45 minutes, right? So we'll put that down and then we'll think about it. So I think that makes sense, doesn't it? 1.75 hours, which is like, what, an hour and 45 minutes? Yeah. So definitely on mine, if you study that much, you should get an 85. Just watch my videos and doing the practice test, definitely. So make sure you at least study for an hour and 45 minutes for our test next time. Awesome. Cool. So then let's see here. So that's that's using our formula, minimum number of hours of studying. And so we plug in the score we want, and it tells you how many hours you have to study. I like this. This is cool. Okay, so now we're going to do it again with 100 just to do part C really fast, just using the calculator. So now we're going to go second enter again, and this time we're going to plug in 100 instead of 85, and that should increase, I don't know, maybe 2 hours or maybe more. Let's see. So 1, 0, second insert, 0. Cool, let's push enter. Excited? 64 hours, what the? That doesn't make sense. Where did I make a mistake? So 0.32, good, times 100, good. Let's try. Let's just type it in manually. Okay, stop it. Okay, so we're going to do 0.32 x divided by, oops, so 0.32 times 100 divided by, awesome, parenthesis, well, we know 100.5 minus 100 should just be 0.5, shouldn't it? Totally. Still 64 hours? That's ridiculous. So just study for the hour and 45 minutes and get the B. It's not worth the A. That's ridiculous. Okay, so I just want to see the answer because that's just crazy talk. So let me just see here. It just might be, yeah, 64 hours. That's hilarious, you guys. That is so funny. Yeah, so that's probably college. Just study for the hour and 45 minutes. Do not do the 64 hours to get the A, right? That's crazy. Okay, there we go. So there's our answer there. We got 64 hours is what we need. So then if we plug in, so S of 100 equals 64 hours. Don't study 64 hours. Just study the hour and 45 minutes, okay? Awesome. Okay, so last but not least, we're going to go ahead and take this equation now and the 0.32. And so now we're going to do part B. And so you will see part A and C and B on the test, so make sure you know how to do it. So what score can you get if you study for 8 hours, right? So we're going to go ahead and say 8 hours is our goal. Study for 8 hours. What score will we get, right? So we're going to set that equal to 0.32x all over 100.5, our formula, minus x. Now we want to go ahead and just cross multiply and solve for x. So we're going to go ahead and multiply the 100.5 minus x to the other side, So 100. Wow, not a lot of room on this worksheet, sorry. I actually made more room than the other teachers, just so you know. Theirs was even more squashed. They just had to use your paper, I think, actually. So we'll draw a line there. We'll move this over. We got some room now. Okay, so we're going to times 100.5x over to the other side. 100.5 minus x to the other side. And then we're going to distribute it through. So like that. So we're going to do 100.5 times x, or times 8, sorry, is 804. So now we have 804 minus 8 times x is just 8x is equal to 0.32x. And then we're going to add the 8x with that 8.32x. So that'll give us 8.32x when you add those together. And then we'll just divide that 8.32 back to the other side. So divide it back over to here. And so that'll give us our percentage, 8.32. So then we go 804, there it is, divided by 8.32. And so that gives us 97%. So maybe that's worth it to you. Study for 8 hours. So that'll give us 97%, or 96.6, is what 8 hours will give you. 96.6%. I know in college I had to study, right, you guys? 10 hours on Saturday, 25 hours on Sunday, and then I aced both of my 2 college math classes, differential equations, linear algebra, and calculus 3. Do not recommend taking 2 college math classes at the same time. It's too hard. Don't do it. Okay, last but not least, to finish our video real quick. So we need $101,250 dollars per, and so that's how much money we need to recover. So if we just divide it by X students, that'll give us the total price we need to charge per student. Cool. So then we learned that what if we definitely want to charge our students $4.50. So if we want to charge our students $4.50, so then how many students do we need? Well, 1250 divided by X. We're going to multiply X to the other side. And then reverse-y, bring the 450 down below. And so that means we're just taking the 1250 and divided by the 450. So then when we do that, we get 127.7 or something. Can't have 0.7 or 0.3 of a student, so we have to round up to 278. Okay, so then we want to go ahead and add $100, right? So that's going to be 1250, because the DJ, getting greedy on us, raises his fees. You can DJ. Not you DJ in class. I mean like a music jockey. That's it, disc jockey. That's what it stands for, disc jockey. Go Newbold, go Newbold. Okay, so 1250 plus 100 is 1350. Cool. So then rewrite your function. So that would just be 1350 divided by X. Cool. And then how many students would you need for the overall class to attend with this new thing involved? Well, so we still, how many students you need to attend to cover all the costs? And so we're still talking about the $4.50 per student. So now we're just going to go ahead and take that 1350 now and divide it by our 450 again. And so that's going to raise our number to 300 students is what we need. So 300 students, because we just took 1350 and divided by 450. Cool. And so we need 300 students. That's an increase. We need 23 more students. Awesome. So compare your answers to part B and D. It increased. Why does it make sense the number of students tend to increase? So we'll say increased. So the overall price increased, right? The overall price increased. Therefore, we needed more students if we wanted to keep the price at 450, right? Yeah. So if we want to keep the price at 450, we got to just increase our students. Cool, thanks for watching so much. Watch my practice test next. Watch practice test videos next. Peace out. Thanks for watching. Ooh, that was a good video. Half an hour, sorry.